All right, on chapter 10.4, what we're doing is we're working on counting methods. There's really three kinds of counting methods. One is permutations. That's when order matters. That's kind of a vague way to say that the picked items, the same thing is happening with the picked items. You know, there's nothing specific happening with the picked items. The second one is combinations. It's when order doesn't matter, and usually there's always less combinations. And then the first one, or the last one, is called just basically the counting method. And the first thing that you're asked to do on the quiz is just to calculate some permutations. And they have some unique notation for permutations, but it still kind of makes sense. They're telling you it's a permutation with a P, and there's two numbers in a permutation. N is the total number we're picking from, and R is the number of things we're picking. So in that first one, we want to pick 4 items from 7 overall, and how many different ways can we do that? There's a formula for permutations, P, N, R. It's going to be N factorial. That's whatever number N is. Let's say it's 3. That's 3 times 2 times 1. It's a math function. I'll show you where it is on the calculator. And we divide that by N minus R, also factorial. You can just ask the calculator to do a permutation for you, or you can simplify using the formula. And if the numbers are fairly small, it's easier to just simplify using the formula. So for A, I'm going to show you 7 is N, 4 is R. So this permutation is going to be 7 factorial over 7 minus 4 factorial. Now I'm going to write out that factorial, 7 factorial. 7 minus 4 is 3. And this is what I mean by canceling. Look, when I write out 7 factorial, 7 times 6 times 5 over 3 factorial, then I get some canceling here. And all I'm going to do is type in 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 to get the answer to this permutation, which turns out to be 840. Okay. Now I also, I'll show you how to do that on the calculator. And this one, P70 over 3, I'm not going to write out 70 factorial. I'm just going to put this in the calculator. And the way the calculator, at least the way the TI-84 does it, is we put the M first, and then we ask it to do a permutation, and then R comes as a subscript. They're both little subscripts. So to the calculator, you're going to use the math menu, and these are all found under the probability menu. So I left arrow to get there faster. And you can see option 2 is permutations. And by the way, option 3 is combinations. Option 4 will calculate the factorial for you. So we're going to pick 2. And if it's not in a math print like this, you're going to have to type in the first number first and then pick the permutation. But here it's in math print, so it gives me a chance to type in both numbers. So we have 70, N is 70, and we're picking 3. How many ways can we pick 3? 3 individuals from a group of 70, a bunch. Looks like 328,440. All right, so on to example 2, which is a little bit interesting. It's almost exactly like the problem in the quiz, but I couldn't think of any other way to do this. Right, N is A and R is 1, and let's just type out the formula for permutation. So we get A factorial over A minus 1 factorial. Now that doesn't look like we did anything, but let's just take a number, for example, and see what happens. So Let's say n is 6. So I'd have 6 factorial, and r is 1. 6 factorial over 5 factorial. All right, well, that's always going to reduce to to whatever number we pick, okay? That means that a factorial over a minus 1 factorial is just going to be equal to a. Run it through a couple more examples if you don't believe me. All right, that'll do for this video. I'll see you on the next one.